Parents and students, we're talking about interpreting numerical expressions. We've been working on this in class for a couple of days, and I wanted to go over what we've been doing in class so you can watch it at home, you can practice at home, and parents, you can make sure that your students are doing what we've been talking about in class. I want to start off by talking about some vocabulary words, some terms that we're going to be using when we're talking about interpreting numerical expressions. The first vocabulary word I have here is sum, and you need to always remember that when we're talking about the word sum, we're talking about the answer to an addition problem. If we talk about the difference, you need to remember it's the answer to a subtraction problem. Product is the vocabulary word that we use when we are describing an answer to a multiplication problem. And lastly, we have the quotient, and quotient is our term that we use to refer to an answer to a division problem. So you might want to go back and refresh your memory on these. These terms we are going to be using often in class. So make sure you have an understanding of those vocabulary words. All right, let's practice just a little bit. And I have some problems. We're going to start out really easy, and then we're going to grow more difficult as we go. So if you look at my words here, I have add 13 to 7. So if I have add 13 to number 7, I'm going to be starting with the number 7 because I'm going to add 13 to that number. So my number sentence would be 7 plus 13. Now, if I'm doing this in class, I have work that they need to do. Not only do I want them to work this expression, I want them to find the answer also. I'm going to save a little bit of time, and I'm not going to put the answers down, but at home and in class, they would need to do that. All right, let's look here at this one. Multiply 6 and 7. Again, we're starting out pretty easy, and if they were writing that down, they would have 6 times 7, and then they would provide the answer for me. All right? Divide 72 by 9. That's going to look like 72 divided by 9, and then, of course, they would find the answer to that. The last easy one is subtract 6 from 23. Now, sometimes these might be a little bit confusing, so you've got to think about what you're doing. I've got to take 6 away from 23, so I'm going to write these not necessarily in the order you see the numbers, but write them in the order that makes this true. So if I'm taking 6 away, I'm starting with 23, and then I'm subtracting 6. So read carefully and go slowly when you're working on this. All right, let's get just a little bit harder. All right, we're going to add 7 and 4, then multiply by 8. I have a key word in this sentence that I want you to look at. The key word is then. That tells me what I need to do first and then what I need to do second. So this is what I need to do first, add 7 and 4. So I can do that by saying 7 plus 4. Now we've been working with order of operations. I want to do this first. The first order of operations is to put that into parentheses, so I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to multiply by 8. And that's what my numerical expression looks like. Now, if I were doing my order of operations, I would say 7 plus 4 is 11. And then I would multiply that by 8. And my answer would be 88. So this is what I'm expecting students to do. Students, this is what we're working on in class. Parents, this is how you can help them at home. All right, let's try another one. 8 less than the product of 9 and 6. Now, it doesn't mean that I start with this first. You have to read it and do one step at a time. So if I'm going to subtract 8 from a product, I'm not going to go 8 minus first. That's something that I'm going to do later in my problem. So the first thing I need to do is look at the product of 9 and 6. So the product means that I am multiplying. This is the vocabulary term. So 9 times 6. That's what I want to do first. Order of operations tells me to put that in parentheses. Now I'm going to subtract my less because my answer has to be 8 less than this answer, the product of 9 and 6. And this is what the numerical expression should look like. If I'm following my order of operations, I know that 9 times 6 is 54, and then I'm going to subtract that by 8. All right? We're going to get a little bit harder. 13 less than the sum of 63 and 90. This is my key word right here on part of it. Now, I'm going to go 13 less than this, than the sum of two numbers. So I need to find the sum of those two numbers first. 63, and the sum means I am adding. This is what I want to do first, parentheses, and then I need to take 13 less than this sum. All right? And that's my numerical expression. Let's try one more together. 4 more than the quotient of 56 and 7. More means I'm adding. Quotient means I'm dividing. So my answer is going to be 4 more than this quotient here. So I'm going to find my quotient first, and then I'm going to add 4 more to it. So 56, quotient is my key word for dividing. 7. I want to make sure that I do this first. I'm going to put that in parentheses, and then I'm going to add 4 more. Now, once they have this, they need to go through the order of operations, and they need to work out 56 divided by 7 and take the answer there, add 4 to it, and then their numerical expression is complete. That's what we're working on in class. I hope the video helps you as you practice at home.